Hello there, planner friends. Welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for joining us. This video is one that was a request of many of you on my Instagram feed. I put a note up last night and asked for any requests that you might have for videos, and it was pretty much unanimous. Please show us your cute little pocket planner that you're using right now. So without further ado, let's dive into this. So to start out, as you guys may remember, I mentioned that I was going to do summer in my pocket and use a pocket planner for the summer this year. And I had been using this pocket rings planner. This currently is a Vanderspec Touch Me in Noir that I was using, but it's a little chunky. I mean, it has everything in it that I need, and I love it. And as you will see in my tips for using a pocket planner, there are a lot of little things that I've been doing to make this work for me, but I wanted something that was just a little bit lighter carry, a little bit more simple, and didn't have the weight of rings. And I do this about every, I don't know, 3 or 4 months, 6 months. I start to think I want to move out of rings. I always end up back in rings, I know that. But usually I end up trying to use a Hobonichi or something like that. And this time I just decided I wanted something really, really simple. It's summertime. I'm doing a little bit of traveling back and forth to see my mom, and I wanted something that was a lighter carry, something that I could just throw in my tote bag and have with me wherever I went. And I just didn't need a lot of the extra stuff that I usually have in the back of my rings planner. So I'm still using the rings planner, like all of the reference material, everything that's in the back here. I'm still using this, and this planner stays very close to me, but like my bills and finances and my kids' information for college and all that kind of stuff, it's all in here. But you can see that's a lot of stuff to carry around that you're not using on a daily basis. So that was part of why I moved into this. And also I was sick and I was bored. I had a terrible stomach virus last weekend, and just really too sick to do anything other than just sit in my chair and watch Netflix. And I was starting to get stir crazy. And I thought, what the heck? I'll set up this little planner, and even if I don't do anything but set it up and put it on the shelf, it wasn't like I was spending any money. It was just something to entertain me. And lo and behold, as I started to set it up and started to use it, I really am enjoying it. It's just like the perfect amount of whatever I need. It's not bulky, and it's kind of scratching the itch for a bullet journal that I've had, and just simplifying. So let me walk you through and show you what I've done. This is a Leuttchturm 1917. It's their A6 planner, which is technically a little bit narrower than a normal A6. Let me pull out a Hobonichi A6 to show you. One second. I couldn't put my hands on a Hobonichi A6, but this is I think it's a Midori. Well, it's not even a Midori, but it is an A6 size, just to show you. This Leuttchturm is just a teeny tiny bit taller. I don't know if you can tell, it's so minimal, and narrower than a traditional A6. So it's just a little bit skinnier. You could put it in an A6 case, but there would be, a little bit of a gap. I have several A6 notebook covers, and I have tried putting it in there, but that's another thing that I wanted to do with this, is just keep it very basic. I didn't want to bulk it up with a cover and a bunch of stuff stuck in pockets and all of that, because I just really want it to be easy for throwing in my bag on the go. I did add a pin loop that did not come with it. This is just a stick-on pin loop that I got I have a whole bunch of them from Amazon. You can buy them in packs of 10 or whatever, and my Sarasagram fits in there perfectly. And then if you do the elastic kind of at an angle like this, it helps to hold the pin on and hold the book closed. And so, yeah, that's what I'm doing. I literally just throw this in my bag when I'm going, and because it's so small, it fits in pretty much any size bag that I have, which these little chunky monkey pocket rings would not. It's dramatically different in size. So let me open it up and show you what's inside. The sticker on the front, these two came from Redbubble. And then this one my daughter gave me, and I just really liked it and it made me happy, so I stuck it on the front. And this was, I put this here to help me remember that the whole point of doing a pocket planner for the summer was to simplify things and keep it simple. So this is kind of, you know, just tongue-in-cheek, like don't overthink it, just be simple, make it easy. So in the front, I have a few Post-it notes, just like a landing area for Post-it notes that I can grab and stick on a page whenever I need one, or jot a quick note. I like to use these vertical Post-it notes that come in the Cocoa Daisy kits for my menu planning each week, or a grocery list or something like that. Then in the first 2 pages here, I thought I'm letting this go organically. So I'm not adding things. I didn't sit down and do a giant, you know, add all the things set up kind of thing. I just decided to kind of organically add stuff that made me happy, which is, you know, how these stickers kind of evolved. These 2 are ones I printed out just on regular copy paper and glued in here with some scrapbook adhesive, but these are 2 that I have had in bullet journals and in my planner for years, and I really like them. So this is a quote from Jack London. It says, "Keep a notebook, travel with it, eat with it, sleep with it, slap into it every stray thought that flutters into your brain. Cheap paper is less perishable than gray matter, and lead pencil markings endure longer than memory." And to me, that's just kind of the essence of why I bullet journal and carry a planner. And then this one, I just like all of the rules for life that are there. So I actually have that on my refrigerator door, so I see it every day, and I just really like it. So that's there. This is an Erin Condren pocket, and I haven't used it yet, but they're so thin. Actually, there's multiple pockets there. That's how thin they are. I didn't even know that. But it's great for just sticking in, you know, a business card or something like that. So I just stuck it there in case I needed it. There is a pocket in the back, just like any Leuttchturm planner has, but I just stuck that there because it was so thin. It didn't take up that much space, but I would have it if I needed it for like an appointment card for doctors or something like that. This is the index, and I'm just making note of big things in, you know, that I need to remember. And I put in here that I started this in June of 23. There's 3 pages of index. I doubt very seriously I'll need that many. And then I left the first page blank because isn't that like an unwritten rule that you have to leave the first page blank in your journal? Because I don't know, you know, to me, I don't know, almost superstitious about it. I always leave the first page blank. I feel like if I do the wrong thing there, I might mess up the whole journal. So I always leave first page blank. The next page I printed out and glued in this year at a glance from my minimal planner. And this actually underneath it, this notebook originally was one that I had bought to just throw in my car. I always keep a small pocket notebook, like a field notes type of notebook, or one of those little moleskin Kahir notebooks. I always keep one in my car in the center console, so that if I'm out and about, I get a phone call from somebody and I need to make notes, or I'm thinking about things that I need to do while I'm driving, I have somewhere to scribble notes down. And now that my kids are older, if they're in the car with me, I make them act as my secretary, just like my mom used to do with me. And I tell them, pull that notebook out and write stuff down. So the first few pages in here were that way, where they had written down some things we needed to buy last summer for my daughter's dorm, some notes from a doctor's appointment, that kind of stuff. And I didn't want to just tear those pages out, so I just decided to glue these on top of it so that the pages stayed intact and the binding and all wasn't impacted in any way, but that I could use this for a bullet journal. So year at a glance here, and then I go right into the monthlies. These are my DIY fish monthlies. I just took the A6 monthlies that I had already purchased and just sized them at 90%, because for the Pocket Plus, I do 86% in my rings, but I figured out that I could do 90% and get a little bit more to the edge and have the height, since this is a little bit taller. So I just glued these in. They're printed on Tomoe River paper, and I just glued in through, I think, the end of the year, maybe just October. Yeah, just October. I didn't honestly think I would be in this until the end of the year, just because it's only 120 pages. So I figured if I did, I would just add the months in there later. So then the next thing after that, let me just cover this up. The next thing after my monthlies that I have, like I said, through October, is a few notes here that I don't want to share. And then they're on just Post-it notes. And I had kind of set this page up almost like a dashboard where I could just slap some Post-it notes down of things that I wanted to make notes of. This is an SM Plans free printable. Again, I just printed it and glued it down, kind of as the cover page for June. And then this is a tab from the Cocoa Daisy kit for June that I've just put on here to see how well it would last. I thought size-wise it was perfect for this planner. I don't know whether or not it's going to make it getting banged up. You can see it's already bent. It may not survive in my bag, but we'll see. Then this page was, I just left this page intentionally left blank. I don't know what I'm going to do with it, but I did leave it blank on purpose. I don't know why yet what I'm going to do. And then this is my monthly to-do list, which you guys are familiar with. I have this at the beginning of every one of my months, and actually I can check a few things off. So this is just kind of my running list of things to do that have to happen in the month. So just working on crossing things off and getting things done. This is from an old Cocoa Daisy kit. This is this month's Cocoa Daisy kit, but I thought they went well together. It seems like she usually does a travel theme in June, and so usually the colors go together. And I honestly don't remember where that to-do sticker came from, but I liked it, so I put it there. This layout should look very familiar to you in terms of the way that I normally plan with my DIY fish inserts. It's exactly the same type of layout. I just replicated the layout that I usually do over here in my pocket bullet journal. So this column is where I'm tracking meals and weather. I didn't put weather down for this week because I was back planning and I was sick and I just didn't feel like doing it. I did add a little month at a glance down here at the bottom just because I don't know, felt like doing it. And so I did it, and I may or may not keep it up moving forward, but for the first couple weeks I did it. So my running to-do list, and I would probably put down here, you know, either menus or things that I want to do for next week. The one thing I will say about using a bullet journal versus using pre-printed planners, whether it's a ring or a bound planner that's pre-printed, and this is the thing I struggle with bullet journaling in this fashion, is that you don't have the prior weeks ahead unless you set it up. And then if you're going to set up all the weeks ahead of time, why wouldn't you just use a pre-printed planner? To me, it's kind of that you know, chicken and egg kind of thing. So that's always been, I guess, my sticking point with a bullet journal, is not having the ability to forward plan, because I'm the kind of person that I'll be sitting there on Thursday night and I'll think, well, I don't have anything going on Saturday morning, so Saturday morning will be the day that I strip the beds and wash all the sheets and do all the towels. And I want to make a note of that and not forget that Saturday morning I want to do that. And with my ring planners or my pre-printed planners, I would just flip to Saturday, write it down, and you know, it's out of my head and it's written down. Well, in a bullet journal, if you're just going literally day by day, minute by minute, and filling this out, you run out of you lose the ability to do that. And I think Ryder Carroll's his thought is that you just write it on the day that you're at, whatever day that is, and then when you get to that day, you're carrying stuff forward day over day, so you just carry it forward. I haven't really picked up that habit, but that's something that I'm trying in this planner to just roll with it. Like I said, I'm really trying to let this be organic and keep it very simple and low-key for the summer, and just relax and enjoy my summer and not spend a lot of time, you know, fussing with a planner. So this was last week that I did, like I said, back plan. So that's why it's kind of just bare bones and actually neat, because it was something that I sat down and did all at once. Here is the first week in here, and again, I just put things down, and rather than having a page per day, I was just writing as I went, making notes, adding some decorations from my Cocoa Daisy kit. I picked a Tombow marker. This is 992, and that's the color that I'm going to use for my dates for the whole month, so it'll be consistent. If you've seen my work bullet journal, you'll know that I do the same thing in my work bullet journal. I pick one color highlighter, and that's what I use for the month, and that way when I flip through, I know that, June was teal and May was purple and February was pink. And I can kind of get a quick glance as to what month I'm in when I'm looking back at my notes. So same thing here. I thought this taupe color went well with the travel theme from the Cocoa Daisy stuff. Threw a little bit of washi tape in here. And the thing that I mentioned this on Instagram in a post, the thing that I feel like I know I'm in the right place right now for me planning, because this feels natural and I am finding myself reaching for it. I'm finding myself writing in here a lot, feeling like I want to journal more, make notes, things like that. And that's when I know that I'm in the right planner setup for me at the time, because that when I'm reaching for it and I'm using it versus feeling like I have to use it, square peg round hole kind of thing, then I know I'm not in the right place. So this is working for me really well, and I'm just going to keep going. So here's this current week that we're in. Let me just pull this Post-it note off for you so you can see the whole week. Same thing. I did the month at a glance here and highlighted the week. Here's my time-bound things. And my youngest daughter is home for the summer, and so her color has always been pink. I do color code. And so I added her work schedule there just so that I would know. I don't keep up with it other than just to know when she's going to be home or not for dinner, that kind of thing. Weather and meals are here. This is my running to-do list that started out really short at the beginning of the week, and I just kept adding to it as the week went on. And this is my solution for the forward planning thing. So we'll see how this works over the next few weeks, but this is what I did this week. I just wrote next week and things that I need to be sure that when I set the week view up for next week, I put on my to-do list. So yeah, so far this is working really well. Here's my Monday, and you can see I just did a little bit of journaling as well as my to-do list. I do use a semi-traditional bullet journal notation. So check mark means I'm done. A little arrow means that I didn't get it done and I'm moving it to the next day. If there was an X, it's that I chose to not do it, just crossed it off my list. A heart is something that makes me happy, and a little dot or a dash is just a note to myself. I just flipped over to the next page and started a grocery list. So if I have this in my purse with me whenever I'm out and about, it's very easy to just pull it out and go, oh yeah, these are the things I needed at the store. So the things that are checked off are the things that I got in a grocery run earlier in the week. And then literally, doesn't this always happen? As soon as I got home, my daughter's like, wait, we need oat milk. Did you not get oat milk? And I realized I needed to buy cat food. And so the grocery list just kept evolving, and I'll just keep adding to it. And the next time I go to the store, I'll cross those things off. Here is Tuesday. I've got some things covered up for privacy reasons, but you can see here that I made a little note that I watered my plants and doodled a little plant there just because I wanted to remember, because I'm trying to not overwater or overlove my plants. And going back to tracking what we're watching on TV. This is how, whenever I'm making notes about things, this is how I make notes. Like if this is a task that I did and I make notes while I'm on it, then I write things down here. These were some notes that I wrote from a leadership podcast I was listening to, and I struggle with, I have a notebook for my leadership development stuff that I usually use, but what I find is when I finish whatever the leadership class is or the training, I stick the notebook back on the shelf and I never look at it again. So when I was listening to this podcast the other day, which is called How to Be Awesome at Your Job, it's a good podcast if you're interested. I just thought, well, hello, using a bullet journal, just do what Writer Carol says, flip to the next page and put your notes in. So that's what I did. And now every time I open this, I see this and it reminds me of these things that, I took away from that podcast. So here's Wednesday and Thursday. As I was writing a lot more in here, things were starting to take up more room. So it's becoming a page a day. We'll see if that continues. I wrote this on the wrong page. I thought I had flipped to my week view when I was writing it and I wasn't paying attention and I wrote it on the wrong page. It is what it is. I'm not going to worry about it. And just slap some washi on here just for something interesting. And I didn't want the washi to be in the same place every day because I didn't want to get a hump. So I put it in the middle, and I'll just kind of throw washi randomly on the pages when I feel like it, just to have something pretty on the page. I'm very much a low maintenance planner in terms of decoration. So that's probably the extent of what I'll do in terms of decorating in my bullet journal just like it is in my regular planner. Here's another list for BJ's, which if you don't know what BJ's is, it's kind of like Sam's or Costco. So it's just a running list, and there's the dang oat milk. Still haven't gotten that. Here's Fridays. Again, just a bunch of notes and running list of things to do. These are some notes on another set of Post-its that I'm just covering up for privacy reasons. And here's today. So I felt like using a hydrangea washi that I had because my hydrangeas are blooming. So that is my planner as of right now. I haven't done much of anything back here in the back because like I said, I'm really trying to let this just be organic. I did add here in the back a place to track books and movies and TV shows, just so that when I go back and update my tracker in my ring planner, I'll have a list of, things that we were watching and things that I was reading. But I'm on page 35 and have been using this for 10 days. So I can't imagine I'm going to get more than maybe a couple of months out of this, maybe 3 months. We'll see, which is perfectly fine. I don't mind that at all. But it'll be interesting to see how that evolves. And if so, do I want to try to find a bigger, like more pages, pocket-sized notebook to use, or just buy a bunch of these and change them out every 2 or 3 months? Honestly, I don't know that I'd be happier with a thicker book. I think that the thing that's working so well with this is it is so compact. It is so thin. It has the grid paper that I love, and it's easy to just throw in my bag and, fairly bulletproof in terms of not getting destroyed. So I don't know that I would buy a thicker with more pages. I probably would just have a bunch of these and start stacking them up on the shelf. But that is my current pocket planner, pocket bullet journal that I'm using for the month of June. And at this point, I have no plans to move out of it. I'm really, really enjoying it. But if you told me 2 weeks ago I was going to be setting up and using a pocket bullet journal and loving it, I would have laughed at you and said, no, I'm really happy in my pocket rings and I have no plans to move out of them. So who knows what will happen in 2 weeks. But as of today, this is the planner. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Let me know, how are you doing if you are doing summer in my pocket? Are you using a pocket planner? Have you evolved into using something else? It's funny because I hesitated to even do the summer in my pocket whole thing that Lucinda and I talked about, because I always seems like when I say I'm going to use X and I'm sticking with this, I immediately want to change. It's like almost a knee-jerk reaction that's an unconscious thing that I immediately feel like I need to change and use something else. So it's kind of comical to me that as soon as I said, I'm going to use a pocket planner and I'm going to use this pocket rings for the whole summer, I ended up setting up this pocket bullet journal. But in my defense, I'm still in a pocket. I'm just not in pocket rings. So at this point, I'm happy in pocket size, pocket plus size, and I'm just going to keep playing and enjoying and trying to not put a lot of pressure on myself to live up to some artificial rules that my brain has decided to place on me. Let me know what you're doing in the comments below. If you are in a pocket planner, how's it going? If you're not, what are you using? And do your planner needs change for the summer? Do you feel the need, like I do, to simplify and go down to something much more basic in the summertime? I hope you guys are all doing well, and I look forward to talking to you in the comments below. Thanks again for stopping by. Bye, everybody.